I might just want to stop at Starbucks and get a Rice Krispie treat, or I might need to. You'll probably see me with the Rice Krispie treat in the next clip. You know what I'm saying? Okay, help it. Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday, day 2, week 7. We just legit don't have much to talk about this morning because all I got to do is a 5-mile easy pace run, recovery type run, very slow and controlled. But then after that, I've got a push workout to knock out. Thankfully, no work today, so kind of can do that at my leisure. But instead, what I'll do is I'll just go over my warm up routine, which I kind of briefly did in my long run video. But I'll just actually discuss it and go over it. And this is just a routine that I found online. The first thing I do is open gates. So I do like 8 to 10 on each side, so I knock those out. Interesting thing about this is when I first started doing these before, when I first started running, this part here would be very clicky, very poppy when I'd open and close. And eventually what happened is I got a bit of a hip injury after my first half marathon, and it made me do a lot of like rehab stretching, rehab workouts. Nothing like from the medical professionals, but YouTube. One of the biggest things is a lacrosse ball kind of in this pocket. So I started doing that, started doing the butterfly stretches, hip bridges, reverse lunges, Bulgarian split squats. And since doing all that stuff, like there's no click. I don't know if you can hear it. Of course you can't hear it because there's nothing here. But yeah, that helps. All right. So that's one of my most important stretches I think that I do. Then the next thing that I do is just calf raises and toe raises. I know there's a proper name for that. I don't remember what it is. But try to knock out a couple of these. I'll do just not a static stretch, just a little bit of hold for knee raises. And that sun is coming out. I might need to change. All right, now we'll just do some of the leg swoops, the runner stretch, the runner's warm up. Now, a lot of times when I'm running, I'm just waking up. So I like to take this stretch just like a little extra sometimes. So I start at the bottom and just come all the way up. I know just kind of help me wake the body up, help me get loose everywhere. Then, because of my hip issues, like I discussed, I like to throw in some reverse lunges as well as part of my warm up. Just also about three on each side. So I also have a calf stretch board, and I use that sometimes before a run, but I try not to do too many static stretches before a run, but definitely after we'll hit that up for the post run stretch. All right, we're gonna get into this run, but one thing I did want to mention is that I'm going into this run fasted, which is something I used to do all the time. It wasn't until I started increasing my mileage as much as I have lately that I started eating bagel, honey, banana before every run. Just with this being a 5-mile easy run, I think I want to save my carbs for later on in the day. Plus, I need to eat right before I go to do strength training shortly after I get done with this run. So I'm going to push through no end run fueling today and no pre-run fueling. We'll knock it out fasted. And I did exceed my carbs yesterday as well by accident, off day. So hopefully my glycogen is just topped off and it'll be enough to get through a pretty simple run. Okay, that's enough talking. I'm gonna go finish getting dressed, knock out this run, get the vibes going with the music, and then meet back here in about 50 minutes. Peace. All right, made it back from our 5-mile easy pace run. Nothing special about it. I guess the best part about it is just like the weather today. It's a very clear skies, typical California day, and I don't get too many running workouts during full on sunlight like this because I like to knock them out first thing in the morning before I go to work, and get that off my schedule for the day. But on days like this, it's always nice to slow down and appreciate just like the beauty of the regular neighborhoods, man. I remember when we first moved here, and we actually just told our neighbors this other day. We first moved here, we saw the neighborhood. We were like, it looks like a sitcom, looks like a movie neighborhood or something like that. And it's just like some typical California spots with the palm trees lining the streets and stuff like that. And I love it. So I just slow down and appreciate that sometimes. Um, the fasting aspect of today went very well. So I didn't feel any kind of hunger or weakness at all at any point during the run. Um, so I can continue doing that for like slow, easy days and short, easy days like this, especially when I overate on some of my macros yesterday, filling that glycogen tank. And it just would have been adding more, and I would have just kept this cycle of overflowing going if I would have ate before I ran today. So the run was like, nothing special, about 9:40 to 10-minute pace throughout the 5 mile split. I tried to keep it interesting, so I normally run in a certain direction down beach, but I just flipped it and ran the other way just to keep things exciting. Um, I really just try to slow down and work on my running form. So I'm paying a lot of attention to how I'm landing, whether it be heel toe or toe heel. So my goal is mid-foot striking, which I think is everyone's goal, but it's hard to make your body do that consistently. I can do it when I'm thinking about it, but the second that I stop thinking about it, I'm back to heel striking. Another thing I've been working on is kind of knee drive. I want to like pick my legs up a little bit and not just kind of shuffle my feet. So I've been working on knee drive some, keeping my head level, because I've also heard that keeping your head down creates tension in your neck, which ultimately creates tension in your calf muscle, which I've struggled with calf tightness in the past. So if there's anything I could do to alleviate that, then I'm gonna take the opportunity. Can't hurt nothing. But I think that's about all to discuss. Just an easy pace run that went well. It's a little warm today. It's a little hot, but it's not like detrimentally hot. It's not like desert hot. I know some people are dealing with way more heat than what we're dealing with here. So I enjoyed the run. I got some electrolytes. I need to get some more electrolytes. I need to eat actually now because in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm gonna go to the gym and knock out some push workouts. So yeah, let's get it. It's a good start to a Monday. First part is done. Second part's coming up, and then we knock out this week the same way we've been knocking them out the past 6 weeks. So thanks for watching for today. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow before we do our next running workout. But until then, see you soon. Peace. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning now. I was able to replenish some food, replenish some electrolytes, and do a little straighten up around the house because we have family coming in a couple of days. I'm super excited about. So I just want to make sure the house is organized and ready for them. But now I got a coffee, and now I'm about to hit the gym, and we're gonna keep this train going. Take advantage of the day, the fact that I don't have to be at work, so I can kind of slide in here whenever I want. And this time is new territory for me. Oh wow. This time going to the gym is new territory for me. So I don't know how packed it's going to be, but we'll see in a minute. See y'all soon. Peace. Good morning and welcome to Tuesday. And it is still week 7 of our marathon training plan. As you can see, I've made it back to my original schedule of getting a serious run in a couple of hours before the sun comes up. We had the 4th of July weekend, which I have Friday off, and then that following Monday off. So I was able to be a little bit more lenient with my schedule and like actually wake up when the sun came up for a couple of days, which was nice. However, it creates that risk of being thrown off track. So thankfully, today is the first workday back, and we're back to the regular schedule. Anyway, today we've got a 3 mile easy run with 15 by 1 minute intervals at 5K pace, followed by 1 minute recoveries behind each one, and then 3 miles easy back home. So what I think this is going to ultimately be is about 10 mile, 9.5 to 10 miles. We'll see. I've got it in my Strava as a 10 mile route because one of the options was to run 3 miles and then go back and forth and then come those 3 miles back home, which I just really don't want to do. I'm just not a fan of out and ends. And I'm not a fan of turning around while I'm running. So to turn around 15 times just seems like a bit much to me. So I'd rather just incorporate it into a loop. But this is a risk because I anticipate it's going to be about 10 miles. But I could get finished and still be like 2 miles away or get finished and have to do loops around my neighborhood. But either way, we'll see. We'll get the run in, we'll get the intervals in regardless. But it's just a matter of how easy or difficult I'm going to make it for myself. So, funny thing about the 5K pace, I'm going to anticipate my 5K pace is about 7:30. Interesting thing about that, an interesting thing about the 5K is that I've never run an all out 5K. So I actually don't really know what my 5K pace is. Um, I've run like one in the Navy years ago, but I was like a 10-minute mile, maybe 10-30 minute mile pace, something like that. This was before I like really honed in on running. And then I ran one back in February, no, back in May with my wife, but we were just kind of like doing it for fun. And it was super, super crowded. So I don't know what my 5K pace is. I probably should know that. I probably should do it. Just like I don't know what my all out mile is, but it's something I should know. I should do it. But it's just like I don't want to get in the way of the training that I'm doing now. So these are things I probably figure out on the back end unless I decide to run a 5K real quick. But we're gonna anticipate about. I'm gonna set the watch for a wide range because I don't really like the watch yelling at me constantly. So I'm gonna set a wide range. So I'm gonna go from like 6:20 to 7:30 and just try to stay in that pocket for those 15 intervals. But enough talking. I'm actually stalling because I don't feel like doing it right now. But I'm ready to do it. Let's knock this out, and I'll see you guys back here when we get done. And I'll let you know how it went. Peace. That's it for the intervals. And it was perfect because it was damn near just the length of the stretch of the beach that I did. Um, it is looking like it's going to be a 10-mile run because I'm a little over 3 miles back home, and I put this in for 10 miles, and I got 2.94 left. So the intervals, they felt smooth. I feel like I could have did a little bit more. The pace is something I'm still need to hammer down because it felt good, but like I don't know if I could really run 6:30, 6:40 for 3 miles straight. I could do it in these minute sprints. I just don't know if that's my actual 5K pace or not. Anyway, running down Main Street, gotta wrap this up, and then we'll get our real day started. So see y'all when we make it back. Peace. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for the run. It ended up actually being just about exactly 10 miles. So definitely timed that correctly and paced it correctly to be able to meet up, finish up back home in a loop and not have to do the out and ends or back and forth 15 times on the beach. So it's a good run. It started out pretty slow. There wasn't anybody out there. Like normally I run into people on the beach during my morning run, but I think maybe people are still recovering. And a little bit, unfortunately, on the route that I ran through Main Street and the beach, there's a lot of like garbage still on the streets from like the 4th of July parties, a bunch of beer cans. It's kind of messed up. People need to clean that up. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty empty on the beach, and I went the opposite way. So this time, as I ran back home, I ran into the sunrise. A beautiful thing to see. You know, I'm really trying to soak in and appreciate my time in California and enjoy the scenery. And that's what I get on mornings like this. Even though I left super early in the morning before the sun, it's full on morning time now by the time I got back. The intervals went good. So my early pace, 3 miles out, easy, ran about 10 minutes a mile. Then once we started the intervals, I felt like I was hitting about 650 to 715 roughly on those intervals. And then I did a very slow jog for my minute recoveries in between those. And it felt like it's going to be a challenge until I hit to about the fifth or sixth interval. And then after that, it just became okay. It turned into like a bell in my head because I had it on my watch. So it literally was a bell in my head. But the watch would say, now time for 5K intervals. And I'm like, oh, all right, let's get it. It wasn't like, oh, here we go. I got to do it again. It was just like, boom, it's time to get it. And I think I had the energy to get through it. So that's perfect. Um, yeah, okay, good. So that's perfect. The run was good. Now I was gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up, go to work. I got a short amount of time to shower and get ready to change. But that's it. No gym today, just running. Tomorrow we get back to 2 days. So till then, I'll see you in the morning. To the next update. Peace. Good morning. I just had to stop and think to figure out what day it was. Today is Wednesday. We're still in week 7 of our first ever marathon training plan. Today is pretty cut to the point. We got a 10-mile recovery, easy run. Really going to do the same route that I did yesterday when I did the intervals at the 5K pace. Just taking it way slower, way more chill. Um, Nothing pressing for this run. Just going to try to flush the legs out because of this week, I am carrying some fatigue day after day. I meant to mention yesterday that I felt like my legs never fully recovered from my last leg strength day training. I think I did a little too much weight with the squats. And then I was just doing body weight Bulgarian split squats, but I decided to add in 25-pound dumbbells last time. So I think the volume was just too much. The weight was also too much that my legs are just not used to at this point. So I think I'll start to keep that easy. Maybe stick to the body weights and functional movements for now because it's almost 7 days later and I still feel some fatigue in my quads. One other note, I'm gonna see how far back I can get. There we go. It's reflective vest today because I forgot to mention on yesterday's run, I was running on the sidewalks and the sidewalks are pretty good for the most part, but there's one street where there's a lot of bumps and dips in the sidewalk. And I hit one because it's dark. It's 4:30, 4:40 in the morning. So it was dark. So I tripped over one and I almost fell. Like I went flying, but luckily I was able to throw my hand out and I grabbed this concrete wall. I don't know if it left a mark anymore, but there's a mark on there yesterday, and it hurts. However, I'd rather my pinky be hurt than my foot or my leg or my face. So because of that, my point is I'm gonna wear this highlighter vest. There you go. I'm gonna I'm gonna wear the vest and probably get a little bit more road running in. And I know this isn't like a great vest, but it's better than nothing. Okay, before y'all start, it's better than nothing. So I'm gonna wear this. Probably just run the bike lane a little bit. Still avoid cars if I see them coming. But luckily, at this time of the morning, there's not a lot of traffic going on. 10 miles easy, and we still got a full day today, and we got a pull workout after work today. So step 1, 10-mile run. Let's get it. 2 miles in, getting hungry. Might be one of them days, boys. I got a Starbucks that I hit in about 6 miles. But I do have a gel on me though. And I didn't plan on taking it as an emergency gel. But got a little over a mile to the beach. Let's get there and see how we feel. Reassess soon. All right, we made it to the beach and I need some relief. Because I am legs feeling like jello, a little weak. So what I think it is, I think my body's talking to me. Because I am technically still going through a calorie deficit while I'm doing this training, which is crazy, I know. But I increase calories and macros on double training days like today. But it's been a good amount of mileage this week so far. And yesterday I was just starving. So last night, I normally stop eating at like 5 or 6 roughly, but I was in bed at like 7:30. And I told the wife, I was like, I need a snack. I need a bagel. I need graham crackers. So I should have took that as a sign that my body was depleted, because that just isn't normal for me for that time of night to be eating and be hungry like that. And now that's carried over into the run. But thankfully I did bring a gel. With a 10-mile run, I would need at least one. So I don't know. I might just want to stop at Starbucks and get a Rice Krispie treat, or I might need to. I don't know yet for sure. But we got like 4 miles till we get there. We'll see what happens. You'll probably see me with the Rice Krispie treat in the next clip. You know what I'm saying? Okay, help it. The worst part is that it was just in my head. That gel actually really helped. But the thought of stopping at Starbucks couldn't pass it up, baby. I wanted to stop and eat it, but I'm running out of time. It's already 6 in the morning. It's gonna be like 6:30, 6:40 by the time I get home, because we're going slow today. Okay. See you when we get back. All right, that was more of a survival, it seems like. Seems like that was more of a survival run than anything. But we made it. We're back home. It took about an hour and 40 minutes, and I haven't studied the splits yet, but I'm confident that if you look at these splits, you'll see a story is told. And so I started out, this is just off of memory right now. I started out feeling really good. I want to say I had like a 15-minute mile, something like that. No, the first mile was like 10 minutes. Second mile was like 9, 10, something like that. And then that's when it hit me. That's when I started feeling that feeling that I felt a couple of times before, of like underfueled, hungry, kind of depleted of all energy. And it just gradually started. But it's between miles 2 and 3 that I really felt it. So I probably dipped in like the 10s around that area, 10:30, 10:40. Then my goal became to just get to the beach and then take my gel, which I did. A little bit over 3 miles, I took my gel. And actually, after about 10 or 15 minutes, I felt better, but I still wasn't 100%. So eventually, I finished the strip on the beach at about mile 7. And that's when I got to Main Street. I was able to stop and get the glorious Rice Krispie treat, which was delicious again, just as it was the last time I had to do that. And I just got some more water while I was there. And if you'll see in the pacing, shortly after that, I picked back up into like low 10s maybe, and then the 9s. But it's crazy because there was times where I was running and I was like in the 10 minutes, but my heart rate was like 120 something, super low. So that's good. The aerobic fitness is definitely increasing. We're definitely making progress there. I just feel like this should have been um, like my actual easy pace, steady. So I was anticipating to come in here like 9:30, 9:40, even, no ups and downs, but it just didn't work like that with the fatigue that my body has right now, the wear and tear on my legs from this past week. So that's all accumulated. And I know this is written into the plan for a reason, to be able to train on tired legs so that, it's going to be like ankle weights. And then once you're fresh and you're rejuvenated and rested, I'll be like sprinting like crazy. So, that is all I wanted to discuss about this particular run. Today is one of those days. I'm super late, by the way. It is 6:40, and I still got to shower and leave by 7 to not be late for work. Um, then full workout after work. So we'll keep it going. It is Wednesday, so we're almost through the week. Couple more run days, one more gym day after today, and then we get that glorious rest day on Saturday. So also just been seeing a lot of people in the comments saying like they're going through the same thing. They have the same goals. That is awesome. Like, and I hope that you get some type of value or just entertainment out of watching this and seeing somebody going through the same thing that you're going through, the same struggles and the same ups and downs, because the lack of finding that on YouTube is what drove me to want to do this. To not only dedicate myself to 20 weeks of training, but dedicate myself to filming it every day for 20 weeks. And I'm, it's really starting to like catch on a little bit, I think. And that's because I just felt like that void was there, that gap was there. Nobody else was doing it to the extent that I wanted to see it. So if you live in a world where something that you want doesn't exist, you got to create it. And that's what I'm working on doing with this. So I hope you guys appreciate it. I absolutely appreciate you guys watching it. It means the world to me that somebody's sitting on the other end of this actually paying attention to when I'm rambling. So thank you guys for watching. Let's wrap this up, get to work on time, hopefully. Um, Gym this afternoon and then a little bit of sleep and wake up tomorrow and do it again. Peace. Welcome back. Today is Thursday, the 5th day of week 7 of my first ever marathon training plan. And I just got to say, I realize, like, I see these videos back during editing and I realize how extremely exhausted I sound in the morning. And I try sometimes to put a little pep in it in the morning, but it just is what it is in this first half. We pick it back up with a motivation after the run. Um, Today, we got an 8 mile run, easy pace with good old hill sprints back in the mix. So we'll do a 6 mile run to my hill location, and then we'll do 10 8 second hill sprints with jog backs, which typically takes just about a mile. And we got that on the schedule for today. And we've got a light leg day. We're just going to do some like at home goblet squats, single leg RDLs, hip thrusters, those kinds of things. I'm going to avoid the heavy weights this time this week for recovery, but I do still want to make sure I'm getting in some strength training for recovery and for injury prevention. Number one reason I want to do this. Speaking of which, I had a scare yesterday in my right foot where I almost had a bit of a limp. Um, but I think maybe my shoes weren't tied too tight or something like that because I slept on it. I didn't ice it or anything, but I woke up this morning and it felt great. All right, let's knock this run out, get this day started, and we're almost to the end of the week. See y'all during the run. Peace. Just got done with the 9th hill sprint. I'm on my jog back now. And we got one left. And then I should put us at just a mile for easy pace back home, which easy pace has been hitting today. All right, last sprint. Let me get up to this pole. It's my starting mark. That's my stopping mark. All right, I gotta actually kill about a quarter of a mile. So I'm gonna go down and back real quick just to make it a mile back to my front door. I'll see y'all when we get there. That's a wrap for 8 mile. Easy pace, technically easy pace with 10 by 8 second hill sprints, about the 6 to 7 mile marker of that run. And the way I wanted to treat this was to get a good easy pace. So not a super easy recovery pace, but a good quality easy pace that's at the upper part of my zone 2. I wanted to achieve that for the duration of the whole run. And then knock out the hill sprints and then try to get back home at the same pace, if not faster, than my original starting pace. And I think the point of the workout for that is to be able to do quality work still and control your heart rate after an extended amount of regular pace running and then a little bit of push with the hill sprints. So I think I was able to do it. When I got back, what my watch said it was at my last mile right after the hill sprints, it was like 8:50 something. And I think my pace, my heart rate was like 144, 143 average in that time frame. So the upper of my zone too, but that's good. A good quality run today. I think we definitely grew a little bit from that one. Like I said this morning, I was concerned about my right foot, kind of like the top of my foot was bothering me, causing a minor limp yesterday. Um, but I slept on it last night, and I wanted to gauge it this morning and see if I needed to take a day off. And I forgot about it. It was negligent. It was not noticeable at all. So it feels great. Just ran those 8 miles with hill sprints in, and it feels good. But we'll gauge it throughout the day and out the course of about a week, and just make sure it's holding true, and I'm not just like on adrenaline or something like that. But I'm being very careful about injury. I really like the pace that I'm going and the progress that I'm making. An injury of any sort would be detrimental. So that's why nutrition is so important for me. That's why the one off day that I get is so important for me. And that's why strength training is so important for me. Because we're 7 weeks in, man, and I would hate to see something get derailed because of negligence somewhere. But let's stop speaking about that in the universe. So that's it for now. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow morning when we do our next run, which I have no idea what it is yet. Got to check the schedule. Thanks, y'all. I'll see you soon. Peace. Good morning and welcome to Friday. Today is the last day of the week for running for this training plan for my first full marathon. We got I think it's going to be about a 10-mile pace based on a math that I did for it, but we're going to do a little bit of interval speed work. So I've got 2 miles easy as a warm up, and that's going to be followed by 2 by 15-minute intervals at half marathon pace, which right now my HM pace is about 8 minutes a mile, 750 to 8 minutes a mile. So do two of those, and the interval recovery would be 2 minutes active recovery, and then 3 miles back home. So like I said, I think it's about a 10-mile run. It's a rough estimate, but that's what the route is. So even if I get done early with everything, I still got to, it's going to be 10 miles because that's just the route that I'm going to do. Because like I said before, I'm just not a big fan of out and backs and running back and forth in one spot. So all right, there's no more time to waste. I'm late already, so let's get it started. Let's get on the road. It's still a little dark, but I got to get this story out while I'm thinking about it. Very funny and a little scary. But I was just running on one of my local streets, and I came to a light, and I'm still on my 2 mile warm up. So it wasn't even that serious, but come to the light, it's red for the crosswalk, and I was like, screw it. I'm just going to zigzag around because one car just passed this way and another one was coming from this way. So like I'll just zig around and get behind this car coming from right to left. So I get to dang near a median and the car is about to make a left. So he gets over. So now it looks awkward because I'm almost running directly towards this car. But then it gets closer, and mind you, I'm jaywalking, like aggressively jaywalking. The car gets closer. There's a cop. It's a whole cop. So I pass him. I wonder if he's gonna come stop me. And just be like, hey, what are you doing? Yada yada. Like, granted, it's like 5 a.m, but I still like, damn. So anyway, now I'm thinking, oh, he's coming back to get me for sure. But I'm like, is it worth his time? Does he care? I don't know how strictly jaywalks enforced out here. But anyway, then my mind goes to, am I gonna pause my watch when he stops me? Am I just gonna like let it rock? Priorities change ever so much. Okay, half a mile, and then we start our first interval. We'll talk later. That wraps up week 7. I can't believe that. It's been so long already. But yeah, week 7 is done now. That run that we just did was a beast, man. And mainly it's because I'm sleep deprived as crap right now. So my family got in town yesterday, um, and we stayed up to maybe like midnight, 12:30, something like that. Had a couple of drinks, had some food that's not typically on my diet, so my stomach wasn't the greatest for a 10-mile run. But yeah, I only got about 3 hours of sleep. Like this was one of the times where I was like, I'm not gonna get up. But if I didn't get up and didn't come do this, there's no chance that I'm gonna do this later on in the day. So I had to get it done with that little slither of opportunity in my day that I had. Because yeah, I couldn't give it away. I'm telling you, the only way I'm missing a workout is like a serious detrimental event, God forbid, hospital or something like that. So yeah, I only slept for like 3 hours last night. Got up at 4:10 this morning. Was super late getting out the door. Didn't start this run until 4:55, and then it took an hour and like I want to say 30 minutes to knock it all out. But I'll put the splits up. I want to say it started out as a 10-minute mile. We held that for 2 miles, pretty comfortable. But then I started to get really, really hungry again. And instead of like, doing my diversion, planning the route to Starbucks and all that, I just took a gel super early. And I would attribute this to the alcohol probably, as well as like the poor diet yesterday. But I took a gel within the first 2 miles, probably before I even hit mile 2. And I just gave it some time, drank some water, let it settle in. By the time I started my intervals, about 20 minutes into the run, it was a struggle first. The intervals hurt really bad, but I just remember thinking, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to keep the pace up. And literally before I knew it, I was like, let me check my watch. It's probably going to say I got like 8 minutes left or something like that. I looked and it was like literally 30 seconds. So we made it to the first interval, and by that time I was coasting. So I really didn't officially warm up to this workout until after that first interval, and then it was just good. It was fine after that. I went right by Starbucks, didn't even think about it. And then we got home, and I think we finished with a very good heart rate. I haven't, because when I'm doing my workouts as programmed in my watch, it doesn't readily display my heart rate, so I wasn't able to track my heart rate. I'd have to scroll, but I'm not trying to do that when I'm threshold running. So I got to go back and look at it. But I think the heart rate was good during that time, but I know it was good afterwards. So we were able to bring it back down the upper zone two, um, and ride that out the whole way back home. And we finished with, I think, an overall 8 minute, 58 second pace, which is pretty good. Nothing else to do but hang out with family and chill. Maybe go to the beach or sightsee or something like that today, and we'll get back at it on Sunday. So I think we have a hard, long run on Sunday. It should be interesting. But I think that's it for the week. So let's wrap this up. Let's go to work. I am late at 6:44. Time ref at 6:44. I got to be at the door in 15 minutes. So thank you for watching this video. I appreciate each and every view. I appreciate all you guys. I'll see you guys in a couple of days for the long run. And until then, stay the course. See y'all soon. Peace.